Thank you for watching Live and Local KWN TV.
Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. And welcome into Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. We welcome you. We've got another program, another week here in the in mid-March. We welcome, of course, Sheriff Bob Burnett with Dade County. Got Cindy with she's a detective with the Dade County Sheriff's Department. We welcome you.
Thank you.
To the program. Both of our frequent guests here on the program each and every week, and we thank you for watching. Last week was a very it was a different type show because Sheriff Cross and I talked just at the beginning, and then we were able to see a school safety meeting that the Dade County school system at the high school, as well as the Sheriff's Department and the City Police Department, put together kind of a question and answer type thing for the parents. And we also, this past Saturday morning, had Jackson County did a similar type of meeting that they did. I believe this one was at either Woodville or Skyline. And from what I understand, Jackson County and the Board of Education there are going to be going to a lot of the schools around the district and having these meetings for the parents to kind of get an idea of what type of changes they may be doing, or just basically answering questions from the parents, you know, kind of giving them an idea that you're going back over the safety plans and things like that. And I know when you were here, we were also talking, you had conversation with your county commission about doing some things.
I had talked to, we've had 4 incidents in the last 10 days in the schools in Marion County. Had an incident yesterday, and I was explaining to you, and and we've had, excuse me, one at Marion County High School, one at South Pittsburgh High School, and had one at the middle school, and they've all used the social media to make threats. My SRO officers have been on top of it. We've made arrests and all those, and I think there's some frustration out there with parents, and I can understand, and that's what we were talking about before we went on there about what happens to these people. So I asked some of the attorneys of the school board stuff, I can understand, they want to know what procedures are happening now that these people are in custody. And, it's kind of touchy when you're dealing with juveniles. You can't release their name at all. And the only person that has authority to release that information as far as what happened in juvenile court is the juvenile judge. He's got complete authority over juveniles. And they did have a hearing yesterday on one of them. I went for a while, and I had to leave. It was probably about a 3-hour hearing. So on where to place these people, a lot of one of the big problems, I guess, is we had to place them in state custody, and one of them we had another part of the state had to be transferred out and was brought back yesterday. So I can understand their frustration. I've got they're having a safety meeting. I talked to Mark Griffith yesterday at Thursday morning with all the principals, and I'm going to go attend that. And I've talked to the county mayor, since we've had 4 incidents here in the last 10 days. His recommendation to me, and I agree with him, is, in this next coming budget, he's going to recommend we're both going to recommend that we hire enough resource officers, school resource officers, to put 1 in each school. Right now I have 3. They cover 3 different schools. Like in the Whitwell area, they got 3 schools. I've got 1 officer covering 3 schools. Jasper, same way, and in South Pittsburgh, 2 schools. So, the mayor and I have talked about this a lot here in the last few days, and I think that's a good recommendation, and that's going to be I'm going to put that in my budget, see what happens.
Well, it's good. I know, like Whitwell, all the schools are right there together, yes. So it's almost still, like one big campus.
If you study these incidents, they usually happen in a 3 or 4 minute period.
Right.
And if this officer's over here,
right,
course, all the schools are in the city, so we would have response from city officers too if we had an incident. But so far, like I said, I'm proud. My SRO officers have been on top of it. They've all got good relationships with the students, and the information that was given to them was given by other students, and we reacted. We didn't, I think we learned our lesson. Don't lay back, react. Even if it's just
I like that. Don't lay back, react.
I don't want an incident like in Florida. I want my guys on top of it, or the city officers. And then if some kids not got enough common sense to put something threatening on. One of them was on Snapchat, and I'm so ignorant of this stuff that I don't really understand what Snapchat is. I think
I've heard of it, and I've never been on it. She's smiling. She must know what she's.
Man, you're the old.
Yeah.
I'm not too well up on it,
but I mean, it's some kind of thing that the teenagers talk on, I guess. Would that be the way to explain it, or?
Yeah, it's an app. You can take a picture or write something and then send it to that person, and they can only view it for so many seconds, and
right.
it's gone.
But
isn't that a myth? I mean, they say it all goes away.
It doesn't go away.
But
nothing goes away if
it
you've
doesn't
got to.
go away. I've had cases where I had to get information from Snapchat.
Well, I'll be. That's one of the things. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. We got a lot of things to break down. There's been instances with juveniles and adults and because in Georgia at 17 you're an adult, so a lot of even the sophomores and seniors are adults in Georgia that go to school. So we've had adults. We've had situations in the last week in Jackson County, Fort Payne, DeKalb County, where they just had an incident that was in a chat room. Well, we'll talk about it coming back. Got a lot of things to talk about. Stay here with us. We're going to take our first break. We'll be back with Sheriff Talk. Methamphetamine affects everyone, your neighbors, your friends, and even your family.
Know the signs.
Physical symptoms include you may have extreme difficulty sleeping and even insomnia, and you may lose your appetite.
Know the signs. Please know the signs.
You can seem nervous and anxious and even have paranoia.
Know the signs.
Overheat easily and sweat without even being hot.
Know the signs.
Dilated pupils and even hair loss.
Know the signs.
Hallucinations and delusions. And you can also have tachycardia, which is a rapid heart rate.
Know the signs.
You may have liver damage and loss of skin elasticity.
Know the signs.
You may notice unexplained financial instability and social isolation.
Know the signs.
You may have a false sense of euphoria, coupled with strong depression and even risky behavior, legal trouble, memory loss, and repeated incarceration.
Please know the signs. Unfortunately, we do.
A time-tested financial institution equipped with the latest banking technology, the Bank of Dade, with mobile banking to fit your on-the-go lifestyle. Download our latest app today for your iPhone, Android, or tablet to bank on the go. Check your balance, pay bills, make deposits, and keep track of your account anytime and anywhere with the Bank of Dade's smartphone app. Make life easier by using today's most advanced banking technology to your advantage. Call us at 657-6842 or visit on the web at bankofdade.com. Your hometown bank since 1956, the Bank of Dade. Main office is on Highway 11 North in Trenton, and drive-thrus on Highway 11 North and Highway 136 West. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Gross Furniture in Trenton, Georgia, you get the savings, the selection, and the satisfaction of getting the furniture you deserve at the prices you want. Come in, relax, and take your time. Our staff can assist you with the entire process, from expert advice to professional delivery. That's because Gross Furniture is local and treats you with honesty. Just north of the Courthouse Square on Highway 11 in Trenton. Gross Furniture, the home furnishing store that offers you more.
Have lunch or dinner at Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried chicken finger and the best chicken finger sauce in the world. Guthrie's can help you plan your family's meals or get-togethers with bucket specials every Tuesday, those delicious wings on Wednesday, and platters every day of the week. Plus, get sweet tea by the gallon. Remember, Guthrie's has a party room for small gatherings, too. Guthrie's, Highway 136 West in Trenton, home of those golden fried chicken fingers and the best chicken finger sauce in the world.
Guthrie's, not fast food, good food fast.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV, and
we just proved one thing: me and we're from the wrong generation.
And I'm glad.
Well, Cindy was showing us Snapchat, and I just, it's an app you have to download, and I'm just.
Sheriff, I'm just glad I'm from this generation.
I just did with my rotary phone a few years ago. Now, come on.
Well, I've got a smartphone, but
I do too. But it's smarter than I am. I mean, I know how to text, and I've had to and send emails and things like that. But I mean, when it goes past that, I'm just lost.
Well, I mean, Detective Thurman here was showing us Snapchat. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to y'all about, because obviously 3 out of the 4 instances you've had where the folks have been arrested in instances surrounding the schools.
And the charge is making terroristic threats.
I break it down for us. When somebody gets on Facebook or Snapchat or any social media and makes a threat against something or somebody, you can charge that person.
Absolutely.
And I'm not real sure if folks know that they can be held liable for that.
They absolutely can be.
See, in Tennessee, to be phone harassment, people come in there and say, so and so has harassed me, threatened me, and everything. The only harassment charge we have in Tennessee is phone harassment, and you have to make more than one call. But that also includes the social media. If you get on there saying, I'm going to get you and all that. Well, that's phone harassment or whatever. But we have a big problem with that, and it's I guess the social media thing is just bigger than I realized. I'm not a big part of it, so I don't understand how big it is. I've got a lot of detectives like Cindy here that are know more about it than I do, but I just don't really understand it all that well.
Well, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, especially, a detective, didn't have to have that knowledge. But you have to have that knowledge now.
Oh, yeah.
I would think.
You better.
To put your cases together.
And I've learned a lot of it from my daughter. She has taught me a lot about these.
But if somebody goes online and in any type of, whether it's Facebook or Snapchat or
Kick or
see,
after school,
there's so many different ones. They keep. I
and
guess
the thing about it is, all those kids in school know this.
Yeah,
Where
they
you
do.
and I, maybe and Cindy don't understand all those apps or don't understand them. But I mean, they talk in school, and they'll say, I'm sure they'll say, hey, go to this one. It's a good one. When we get caught up with that one, then they're probably already another one
or two.
Mm-hmm. So you got to stay really out ahead of it. But if you're at home, and that's why it's so important. We had school superintendent with us a couple of weeks ago, remember? And, and they talked about, you and Sheriff Cross and Dr. Harris talked about, know what your children, and just because they're 17, they're still a child to you. They're always your kids. Know what they're putting out there. Look at their phone.
Absolutely.
If they're under 18, you have absolutely every right to look at their phone.
They're still under your care till the day they turn 18. I mean, you're responsible for what they do.
Be able to look at your children's social media. Know what they're saying. Know what they're saying to each other. They're because obviously they're getting themselves in trouble. They're getting themselves locked up.
They are.
Absolutely.
And, and like you said, in this day and time, you can no longer say, well, we're going to give you a break. You can't give anybody a break at this point in time because you never know what's going to be the one that you're stopping from going forward.
Mm-hmm. What it'll escalate into.
Like I said, I don't think people are going to say we're overreacting on these things now after what we've seen in the last month.
No.
And my guys are taking it serious. I'm telling you, they're taking it serious. So, kids, don't do this. If you think you're doing it for a joke, it's not going to be a joke when you come get arrested and
it's not fun.
It's not fun anymore. It's created havoc. It's created the learning environment. Panic. The learning environment is going away because of this. It's like I said, we've had 4 incidents in the last 10 days, and they don't understand it disrupts the school. It puts you on shutdown. Squatchy County had last week had a same incident and shut school down. I mean, sometimes I think it's just done on purpose to do things like this. But if you're watching, you're in high school, don't think this is a joke. I mean, you're going to get arrested if you do this, and you're going to end up in serious trouble. So,
well,
take it seriously.
Just since that February shooting, and we're in mid-March. So basically in a month here in the greater Chattanooga area, and I'm talking about the area that DeKalb, Jackson, Squatchy, Marion, Dade, Walker, Catoosa, Whitfield,
Bradley,
Hamilton.
Bradley County 2 weeks ago made 4 arrests on 1 week there. Same thing. I mean, I don't know what I'd like to a figure of this Chattanooga area.
Mike and I in the news
probably close to 100 incidents, I would say.
Well, I'm thinking we're close to 20 actual arrests just in the last week or 2 to 3 weeks, within these areas, small area that we're talking about.
We had 3 in 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, you've had 4. That's 7. I think they've just had 2 in DeKalb and Fort Payne. But I was going to tell you about the Fort Payne incident, and from what Mike reported on the news, this came from a chat room from somebody in New York. There was something on a chat room that he reported to the FBI. The FBI then reported it to the Fort Payne Police Department, and then of course they called the the school superintendent, and they had put out a message to the parents and everything like that. But this particular incident we reported on, it was some guy from New York just seen something in a chat room he was in.
And thankfully did.
And see something, say something, and they had a heavy police presence.
Well, I think the public are better about, from now until a year ago. I think parents and people are more aware of things like that now and report them quicker than they did, which is a benefit. I mean, we, like I said, with the incident we had yesterday, my guys felt like this could have really got bad. It was bad, but it could have really been bad. But we stopped it yesterday and everything turned out pretty good. But this situation yesterday with a juvenile that in the school could have really been bad. I mean, when we did a follow up and found out everything, kind of makes you go, oh Lord, right here at home. So, but people reported it. We had officers on top of it and made an arrest and took the thread out and waiting on the next one because we're my guy. I'm telling you, police department, police officers right now, deputies are just waiting to because
on edge.
They're on edge of this thing. So I just stress to the people, hey, don't think this is funny and take if you're in school and think you're going to do it, you're going to get in trouble. So I'm hoping these, and I tell my guys, I said, arrest them in school, put them in handcuffs, take them out in front of everybody, show them what's going to happen to them.
Well, they've got to have a deterrent to know the fact that I don't want to be there. I don't want to be that person.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think y'all are, and I'm talking about all law enforcement, in my opinion, doing the right thing, and they are arresting these folks, and if they're juveniles, they're detaining them. I know there's certain legality words you can use in Georgia. I mean, you technically can't arrest a juvenile as far as arrest, but it is still the same thing. You take them into custody.
Exactly.
That type of thing. So, and I know that poses another issue that y'all have in law enforcement. We're going to talk about that coming up, is the fact that when you bring somebody that's a juvenile, they can't go in your jail for over a length of time. We'll talk about that coming up. Stay with us. We're talking here on Sheriff Talk, and we appreciate Detective Thurman and, of course, Sheriff Bo Burnett with us. We'll have more coming up after this.
This is Roscoe Peak Coltrane. I want an all-points bulletin on Comfort Gallery in Kimball. See, they must be up to something. Their trucks are all over. You just, I'm very suspicious activity.
Ooh, I love it, I love it. Possum on a gun bush, Sheriff. Gary and all them just good old boys having a big sale, and they deliver free of charge.
Venus, you dipstick. There's no way they're delivering that much furniture. Their trucks are everywhere.
It's because of their great prices and service, Sheriff. They have catnapper recliners for $269, new queen mattress sets $299, king-size mattress sets $399, memory foam pillows $19.99, queen-size chairs sleigh beds $299, Lift chairs and adjustable beds also on sale. Phoenix, will you hush? I heard all that. I love it, I love it. Check out Comfort Gallery Mattress. And they're having a big sale. They offer free delivery and setup. 6 months same as cash. Ooh, free 1-year layaway and even a no credit check payment plan. I love it, I love it. They're open 7 days a week and accept most major credit cards. Good.
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve. Rising Fawn Hardware is your place for all your gardening needs. Seeds, onion sets, cabbage, strawberry plants, and more. A complete line of home hardware items, too. Everything for the house, including plumbing, hardware, and metal roofs. Plus, Rising Fawn Hardware has everything you need for your livestock, including name brands like Nutria, Tucker, and Faithway. Always with a hometown atmosphere, it's Rising Fawn Hardware. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Open 8 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 8 to noon on Wednesday. Even open on Saturday from 8 until 4. Rising Fawn Hardware.
Back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Talking, of course, it's really been the topic of, even on the national level, for sure, for the last several weeks, and that's school safety. Got Marion County Sheriff over and of course, with us, Detective Thurman of the Dade County Sheriff's Department. Now, we've been talking about there's been some adults, because Georgia treats a 17-year-old detective. A 17-year-old is considered, if they commit a crime, they're considered an adult.
They are charged as adults.
And they're going to be charged as an adult, and they get, the same, I guess, treatment, if you would, as an adult would on a crime. So we've seen, matter of fact, all three of the students that y'all arrested here in the last week or two have been considered adults because they were either 17 or 18 years old.
That's correct.
Now, there is a difference with juveniles as far as when you take them into custody, where they go. And we want to kind of explain that, because Georgia's a little bit different than Tennessee. What can you do when you take a juvenile into custody?
The officer transports to juvenile hall. If it's after hours, 8 to 4, dispatch will call the on-call person in. They'll come in and they fill out forms and things. And if, according to what the charge is, if it's drinking alcohol or something like that, usually they call the parents in and turn them over to the parents to give them a court date. If it's a violent felony, or a felon, they have to make arrangements to transport somewhere. Some of them we transport to. We have used Ray County. Ray County has a small juvenile facility, $175 a day. But sometimes we have to transport all the way to Murfreesboro. We just, and then the state may have a bed. You just have to beg, borrow, and steal, try to find a place to put them.
So in Tennessee, you have to go directly to a youth center.
The juvenile court.
You can't.
They
can't come to your jail.
No, anybody under 18 can't be locked up. Can't even walk behind the doors at the jail. So we have had incidents in the past where a juvenile has been declared an adult by juvenile court. DA's office has to file a motion and have a hearing, and it goes on for hours. And once the juvenile court says yes, the judge says yes, this person is going to be tried as an adult, you can lock them up in the jail, but you can't put them in population. They got to be isolated away from everybody. That's the only incident that you can put somebody behind the doors at the jail under 18.
Now in Georgia, you got a little bit of a leeway.
We can detain them for up to 6 hours with the approval of the Department of Juvenile Justice.
In like a holding cell
In a
inside
holding
the jail.
cell inside the jail, but they can have no contact with any inmate. They can't see them, and the inmates can't see them.
So-
Usually it's in the attorney room or visitation or somewhere, and we put up a curtain over the window so nobody can see in or out.
Now, after that, the sheriff's talking about using Ray County or Murfreesboro. Where do the juveniles go if they've been detained and they can't make some type of bond or some type of court date? Then they go where?
They go to Dalton to YDC, the Youth Detention Center. That's the closest one to us. We don't have juvenile halls or anything like that. We have to take them to Dalton.
Dalton would be the closest facility, and I'm assuming most of all of North Georgia use the same place.
Yeah, it's pretty large.
Who would hear a juvenile case here in Dade County?
Juvenile court judge.
Oh, you do have a juvenile
We
court
do have
judge.
juvenile court. We
Yeah.
just don't have a holding cells for just
Well,
juveniles.
you know, they have court twice a week in juvenile court on Mondays. They start at 9 o'clock, and if you know where juvenile court is, you can go by there on Monday morning about 10 o'clock, and that parking lot
It's crowded.
is full. I'm sitting
crowded.
there going, I drive by there sometimes, and I'm thinking, where do all these people go? They have waiting areas around back. See, juveniles are closed court. Only people who can be in there is the officer, the judge, his clerk, and
Defects.
somebody from the state or whatever. But the general public can't be in there. They have each hearing is a private hearing, so
Same here.
makes it tough. You gotta have a.
How often do we in the state of Georgia do you have the juvenile court?
Usually in Dade County, it's 2, possibly 3 times a month, but usually 2 times a month.
Every other week, sort of,
Yeah, just
like
about.
that.
I think if we skipped 1 week up there, we'd get so far behind we never would catch up.
Wow.
Just from the amount of cars I see. I mean, I don't go in juvenile court that much, but in a lot of those cases are like a truancy. The school has an officer that attends those hearings, you know, and you have a lot of state people there that do juvenile probation and things like this. But it's just amazing to me the amount of cars I see there on Monday morning sometimes.
It's really
packed.
well. You're talking about, and this is even before the rash of school-related
Right.
instances.
Yeah, it didn't. You know, I have been in juvenile court before, and I've seen the parents stand there with a child, and I seen this years ago, and I never forgot this. And the parent just told the judge, he said, or she said, I just can't do anything with him. And it's Judge Abels, this back 20 years ago, and he took his belt off and he said, well, here, take this and go outside. And said, but, you know, that didn't happen, but, you know, juvenile judge wouldn't do that this day. But that was Judge Abels, you know. He believed in corporal punishment or whatever you want to call it. But I can remember that just plain. He took that belt off and said, here, you need to go outside and come back in here a little bit with this. But
The name of just a good old paddling or a spanking or whatever you want to call it. When I'd like to find out whoever came up with the word corporal punishment, because it sounded a whole lot worse than it could ever possibly be, you know. But and so they come up with this name to think it is just horrible.
you know,
But-
some of us old guys were talking yesterday about when we were in school. We didn't have security. The doors was open, the windows open. Somebody
We had to
and one
because
of
there's no air conditioning.
Well, that's where one of the younger guys said, well, why is that? And I said, we didn't have air conditioner. You didn't have air conditioning? No, you know, but I mean, we just didn't, even in high school, it's just a change in times. And then it's just, you know, when you see schools and churches being attacked, it really gives me reason to be real concerned about things in society. It just,
I know, Detective, you've been in law enforcement a few years, but you've been in it
since 1979.
a
so
great
I've seen a
number
lot.
of years. Did you ever think that we would be at this point?
No, never. And I think about it constantly, and it worries me because I just growed up when churches was sacred. Nobody would hurt a church. You might play football out in the yard, but nobody ever thought about
Even
breaking.
a hardened criminal wouldn't do
Hardened
anything.
criminal.
Wouldn't do anything.
No,
in church.
even a murder wouldn't go in church. But our values have changed so bad in the last 30 years. It just just really gives me reason to be concerned. It just, it worries me. I just don't know how. I don't have the answer, but it just, when you're in law enforcement, especially in my position, when I think about those things, what way it was 30 years ago compared to now, it just, like I said, when the hardened criminal would, knew that churches were off limits, and now we have churches broke into, people going in shooting people in churches, schools. It's just
small children.
Children.
I mean,
how anybody can do that is just, it just worries me. I mean, it does worry me. I worry about it all the time. I may not go around saying it, but that don't mean I ain't worried about it all the time.
we are talking about the events that's happened over the last, as we do here every week on Sheriff Talk, and I say this because of what we were just talking about. I'd like to get back to just talking about drug deals and drug arrests and stuff, because that's and I say that to the point that, because that's normally what we've been talking about, combating drugs or whatever. And this last month, this has been really, I know, for y'all and for everybody, having to deal with top of mind awareness for the schools and stuff. Take another break. Stay with us. Sheriff Talk continues after this.
Mark your calendars for the annual Easter concert at Rising Fund Baptist Church, 4411 Highway 11 South in Rising Fund, Georgia. You'll have two opportunities to enjoy this year's Easter concert at Rising Fund Baptist Church. The first on Sunday, March 18th, and the second on Sunday, March 25th, each night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss the annual Easter concert at Rising Fund Baptist Church, 4411 Highway 11 South in Rising Fund, Georgia, March 18th and 25th.
When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
Looking for a great way to change your look? You'll find the friendly professionals at A Classy Cut Salon ready to care for you. A Classy Cut Salon is in the Grove Shopping Center next to the Dollar General. We serve men and women of all ages at A Classy Cut Salon. Call 657-5607. That's 657-5607 for an appointment, or just walk right in for your next classy cut from A Classy Cut Salon in the Grove Shopping Center, Highway 11 North in Trenton.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations: Lookout Mountain, Georgia; Higdon, Alabama; on our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN-TV. That
pizza looked good, didn't it?
It certainly did. I was just thinking, I was going to say something, and I thought, well, if they're seeing it at another time, they may not see that exact same commercial, but we just watched a commercial that made us all hungry. Cloud's Pizza commercial was just on, and they have some amazing cheese. They make their own cheese sticks out there out on Sand Mountain, and they're good. Really good. They are good. So we'll give them an extra plug there. We shouldn't have this show right, but when we do it live, and depending on when you're watching it, it's right at lunchtime. Yeah. We shouldn't have that right at lunchtime, should we? You got some other events coming up. We got the Cornbread Festival.
It is last weekend in April.
Yeah.
It's just about a month and 2 weeks away.
I know we'll be having
the lady that sold the cornbread, at some point in April, she wants to come down and talk about it again. it gets bigger every year, so looking forward to that.
I heard the Exile is going to be one of their the big.
Really?
Is that right?
Yeah,
I hadn't
Exile
heard the lineup.
Is their name?
It's one of those old 70s.
Well, you know, they
groups,
started in the 70s. Yeah, they were in the 70s, and then they went
80s.
country in the 80s. So they got a couple of different genres that they'll be able to sing there. So that'll be good.
I
Exile will
worked
be good.
Cornbread Alley this Saturday from 1 to 5.
They already gave you your orders, haven't
That's
they?
the worst. I've been down there, and that line will be from here to across the street, and it's that way all day long.
That's my favorite
Is it people
thing.
trying to get? No, that's when they go in and taste
Cornbread
all the
Alley.
cornbread.
Yeah, you just go around, you
They'll
take your
have,
plate.
Yeah.
They have groups from here across the street, and you go down there and you pick which one you want, and at the end of when you get in the Cornbread Alley, you vote, and the civic group or whatever churches, whatever that gets the most votes, I think they get an extra $1,000 or something for their organization. So
That's a great.
I don't cook it; I hand it out, but it's still you know. I ask people, do a lot of conversation with people when they come through. You know, where you at, where you from. You'll find them from all over the South. It just amazes me how far they come to come to Cornbread Festival.
Well, that Cornbread Alley is there's none better. That's why you go there. I mean, there's all kinds of other things there, but you know, you get your money's worth.
You do.
You know, because they may be 15 different types of cornbread.
At least 15, maybe up to 20.
And they give you a slice of every one.
Right.
Of them. So you know, for
you
$5,
get a plate, and you can go
Yeah.
there. And time you get to the end of the alley, you'll have a plate full of cornbread of 15 to 20 different varieties. So it's.
Have you ever done it, Cindy?
I've been to the Cornbread Festival, but I never went down Cornbread
You
Alley.
need
But
to.
I need to.
And you need to specifically ask for the chocolate chip cornbread.
Chocolate chip?
Oh, there's all kinds of different.
We had last year. I think we baked cheese cornbread. Had cheese in
Now
the center
that would
of
be
it.
good. Cheese, cheese and bacon.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, hey, there's all kinds. It's different organizations, and they all do different types of cornbread.
And if you don't want cornbread, you can go on the main strip, and they've got the turkey leg, all kinds of barbecue, hamburger,
funnel cakes.
The twirly fry thing that they do with the potatoes.
Right. Just, and I've talked to those guys. Those people come from all
We should
over.
never have seen the pizza commercial. We're all talking.
They done got diverted off what we're talking about.
We're on food again. But I'm looking forward to that, having them on again, because it's always a neat show when they come on and talk about all the different events for the Cornbread Festival. So that is good. One thing that I do want to ask you, and it came up, and you know, you may not know the complete details, both in Georgia, but a lot of folks are talking about, because of this, has relaunched a talk on gun control and things. How does somebody legally, and I'll start with you, Detective, how does somebody legally go about getting a permit to get a gun? Because a lot of folks are doing that now.
Right. You mean the gun permit, or just to get the gun?
Well, both.
Well, to get a gun, you'll go to like a gun store somewhere that sells them, or a pawn shop or somewhere, and they'll do a background check on you. And if it comes back clear, they'll give you your gun. To get the permit, you go down to the probate's office, and you fill out this information, all these big questionnaires, and then with it, they'll take your picture and your fingerprints in the jail. And then usually about 3 weeks, if they give it to you, if you're given a permit, then that's when you'll get it.
Now, they do a background check again.
Absolutely.
When you get a gun permit.
They do.
Now, you don't have to have a permit in Georgia to own a gun.
No.
But you do. What does that permit give you the extra ability to do? I won't say a right, but...
Right. You can carry your gun. You can keep it in your house, or you can carry it in your car. That's an extension of your home. Other than that, you need to have a license if you're going to carry it.
So if you're going to
a pistol, anyway.
I mean, you know, because it's pretty much an everyday, but maybe not an everyday, but once a week I see folks that are carrying a gun on their side with a holster. Mm-hmm. Now they can do that, but they got to have a gun permit.
Yes,
they're
supposed to have a gun permit.
Right, and you know, I'm assuming as a law enforcement officer, you could ask them for their permit.
Mm-hmm.
You
we
cannot
ask them for their permit. I don't understand that, but we cannot ask them if they have a permit.
Unless they are doing something.
Unless there's a crime. And well, then usually.
Or you have suspicious of a crime, you could. But you can't just walk up and say, "Can I see your permit?"
No, we can't.
Well,
it's kind of crazy.
How is it in Tennessee, Sheriff?
If if you're going to buy a gun from, say, one of the Walmart or one of the shops, they do an instant background check on you. Used to, years ago, you had to have a 3-day waiting period, and the reason that was the technology wasn't as fast as it is now. I mean, now all the people have the internet hooked in with the state, and they do an instant background check. For a pistol or long gun, then if you clear, then they say the gun right then. Now, if you are denied, and I have people come to me up here all the time that will go through the system and they're denied. And a guy came to me here a couple of years ago and he was denied. He wanted me to call over and straighten it out. And I said, they won't listen to me. I said, those people in Nashville don't care if I'm the sheriff. And he didn't believe me, so he's standing there. So I just called and I talked to this lady and I said, she said, I can't help you if you're the sheriff. We got procedures you got to go through. And I said, I tried to explain. I said, explain it to this man. I just handed him the phone. And you have an appeal, and you've got to file an appeal. If you want to fight the appeal, actually the law says that the general session judge can hear the case and decide. He can go ahead and give you the right to buy it. But if there's a dispute, then the general session judge has to make the decision on it. And I tell people, if you get denied, if you got in trouble 25 years ago and it wasn't cleared off your record, then you're going to have to do the paperwork and get it cleared up. So that can cause you. As far as the permit itself, the Department of Safety does it. Where there's a driver's license division in Jasper. You have to go there and fill out an application. Then you have to do a background check and get fingerprinted. Then you have to go through a gun safety class, and you have to fire 50 rounds. I had a buddy that's talked to him yesterday. He just went through the class Saturday, and I like that because if somebody's going to be carrying a gun, at least they've shot 50 rounds. They're a little bit familiar with it. I would hate to just hand somebody a pistol that's never used it and never shot. So, but once you get the permit, and I don't encourage this. You're allowed to carry it on your side. Now, if you're a business owner and you don't want somebody to carry a pistol in there, you've got to post it on your door right beside the entranceway, the main entrance. No weapons allowed. Then he can stop you. But if you don't have that posted, then he can walk in here and walk around with that gun on. That gives you permission to. Georgia honors it, everywhere in state Tennessee, you can, and I encourage people, go get that. It's slowed down back a couple years ago. We do the background checks. We were doing 40, 50 a month. We're down to about 10 a month now. But I tell people, go get that handgun permit. That, I hate to say this, but nowadays I wouldn't want to be going somewhere without one. At least stick it on your seat. I just tell people, don't get out here and show it off. That just creates more problems.
That's the first person.
And even if you don't have a handgun permit, you can carry a weapon legally in your car. You can't get out of the car with it, but you can have it under your seat. If you're not a felon or whatever. And people say, well, how do these felons get guns? Well, there's guns out here on the street for sale. There's guns everywhere. And people come down to the jail a lot and they want to talk to them and they'll say, hey, I bought this gun from a buddy I work with. I want to register it. And I said, well, there's no place to register. The only time you register a firearm in Tennessee is when you buy it brand new from a store. It's in your name from then on. Even if you go out and sell it, I tell people what I would do if I was going to buy one off the street. I would sit down and just do a little handwritten agreement. I bought this gun, 38 Smith & Wesson serial number from so-and-so on this date and gave him this amount, and you signed it, he signed it. Hang on to that in case that thing comes back someday and it's involved in a robbery or a murder. You got something to show where you got the gun from. You don't have to hire an attorney or anything, just a simple piece of paper with the date and
bill of sale.
Bill of sale.
If an individual bought a gun or was wanting to buy a gun, would you run the numbers to make sure it's not stolen?
We do, but they have to physically bring the gun down there.
You have to have it because if it comes back stolen, you have to take it.
You've got to have it,
right?
You'd be surprised the officers that over the years have run gun numbers for their buddies and over the phone, and the gun come back hot. Then they got to go get it, and then we have to if it's like guns are never taken out of the system. I've seen guns come back stolen that had been in the system for 20 years. I've seen them come out of Chicago, San Francisco. It amazed me how far, guns stolen in South Pittsburgh or Jasper or even in Marion County can 20 years later end up in San Francisco.
And
guns.
You would get alerted
We do.
if there was a crime committed on a gun that was in San Francisco that was stolen in Marion County, you're going to get alerted to that.
And we had one in the city of Chicago, and they'll ship it back to you. You got to pay for it and everything, but we had one in Chicago, and evidently they take a ton of guns off the street because the person there said, y'all got to make arrangements to get this gun back in 5 days or we're going to destroy it. So, usually you can't find the owner or, most of them we just tell them, send us destruction order and we put it in a file or something.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's the same way in Tennessee, but I know if I bought a gun from you and you didn't even know it was stolen, but or let's say I've got it, then in 5 years if something happened and a law enforcement agency ran it, it came back stolen, I'm going to have it taken away from me.
Absolutely.
And if I knew that it was stolen, you can charge me for having stolen property.
Or don't buy a gun where the serial number's been ground off.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Because we seize those. We've got probably 40 in there now that's somebody's ground. Don't buy a gun with serial number ground off. If you get stopped and the officer sees it by law, he has to take it. May not charge you, but he has to seize it. So you'll lose your money. So don't ever buy one with the serial number ground off.
And a lot of folks too. I mean, we tell people we have on the radio side, and you watch it on this TV station, radio and TV classifieds. And I'm always, when somebody says I got a gun for sale, I always say, okay, you can put it on, but you need to follow applicable laws in your state. Yeah. Because just because somebody's wanting to sell a gun doesn't mean that you don't have to go through the laws.
You can buy a pistol in Georgia and have it transferred to a facility in Tennessee. And they'll ship it to them, and they do the background check, and you go to that facility in Tennessee, and you pay for the background check plus the transfer fee. Now, now a long gun I can buy in Georgia. I don't have to do that, but a pistol you have to. If you find one there in the store in Trenton that you want, and you're from Tennessee, then you can get it transferred to. I keep hitting that to a facility in Tennessee, and they do transfer and charge. They do the background check and everything. What people get in trouble is at pawn shops, they'll pawn a pistol, and when they come to get it back, you have to run it. You have to fill out paperwork just like you bought it. Then they'll run it, and then that's when they'll come back stolen, and then they can't give it back to you. And that's when they have a big fight or a fuss at the pawn shop because I bought this guy a gun from a friend of mine at work, and I need a little extra money, and I pawned it. And then when I went to get it out, they run the gun, and it come back stolen, and they can't give it back to you. They have to.
So if you put something in pawn before you get it out, they will have to run it, and you'll have to sign that you're taking. I like that. I think that's good. Yeah. That's an extra fail-safe in there that.
And the person may not have done anything wrong. They just didn't know it was stolen. Like I said, a serial number on a gun, when it's entered in NCIC, is stolen. It's never purged from the system. Now, cars, after 3 years, they purge them out of the system. If your car is stolen and it's put in NCIC, after 3 years, if nothing comes up on it, they purge it out. They had to. They wouldn't have room to put everything in. Wouldn't. But guns stay in there forever. Like I said, I've seen them covered, been gone.
From 1999, a couple of weeks ago. Recovered in Kentucky.
Wow.
Pistol.
Yeah.
That is good. You're watching Sheriff Talk. It's been a very, very interesting, always is, show each and every week with law enforcement around the area. We'll take another break, and we'll have more coming up right after this.
Attention outdoor cooking fans. The Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District is a gold dealer of Big Green Egg products. The Big Green Egg is miles ahead of anything else. State-of-the-art ceramics, a wide range of easily adjusted cooking temperatures, a stainless steel cooking grid, and a permanent porcelain glaze to preserve that signature green color. It's a grill, it's an oven, it's even a smoker. The most versatile cooking device ever. Truly the ultimate cooking experience. The Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District is the largest supplier of Big Green Egg products between Memphis and Atlanta, carrying a complete line of products including rubs and sauces. Free 60-day layaway with 10% down, plus 90 days same as cash, and financing is available. See us today on Sand Mountain. Take I-59 south to the Hammondville exit, right on Highway 117 to 21620, Highway 117 in Eider, or call 256-687-9386 to learn about the appliance and outdoor equipment showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District.
Yeah, that was the one, right?
Hey, John, did you eat half of my bagel?
Speaking of half, if you switch to H&R Block this year, you'll pay half what you paid the other guy last year.
So you did.
Smoke screen!
You're a fake wizard, John. This is a movie set.
Switch to Block and pay half of what you paid your other guy.
Half price is a better price. Get your taxes won.
Get that next new-to-you vehicle from Rayburn Cloud at Cloud Auto Sales, Alabama Highway 71 in Higdon. Right now, check out an 08 Nissan Rogue SL. Real nice, one owner, just $5,995. How about an 05 Ford Explorer 4x4 with a big V6, only $4,995. Or an 07 Buick Lucerne, real nice, leather and chrome, only $5,995. Visit Cloud Auto Sales on Facebook right now for the latest inventory at Cloud Auto Sales, Alabama Highway 71 in Higdon. 597-3273 for Cloud Auto Sales.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Get focused. Get hired.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN-TV. We're talking with Detective Thurman with the Dade County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Burnett with Marion County, and there has been a lot of things happening over the last month or so with school safety. One thing that I will say, I'm glad to see that school boards and county commissions and sheriff's departments, police departments, all working together, and we've seen a lot of information, making sure it's going out to parents, keeping the parents involved, keeping them, I think I've seen where, in Marion County, he was going to make sure that if something happened, the parents were going to know about it. In Dade County, they've had meetings already with parents, Jackson County, so the information seems to be getting out there, and it's a dialogue now, like you were talking earlier.
Well, of course, that's becoming a problem in Marion County, and again, we touched on it earlier. Some of the parents are, I seen where they have a online petition going on. They want more information, about where these juveniles are taken and what's done with them, and what happens to them in school. And I'm not trying to throw it back on the school board, but a lot of that stuff is either, what's happened, where they get suspended for. And see, I've had to learn this. I didn't know this, that these incidents, the kids were automatically suspended. Well, I talked to some of the school officials yesterday. Within 5 days, they have a committee, and they have a meeting, and they decide whether to suspend you for the rest of the year or not, or what punishment to give you. And, of course, all the committees, so far, I think all those kids that were in 4 incidents have been suspended for 365. Not allowed back on the school ground or whatever. But, I think there's been some frustration from parents in Marion County that some of this information is not given out. And I don't have the information. That goes back to the school. Like I said, I talked to one of the attorneys yesterday about it, and I didn't know it was against federal law for them to release that information. But I wish there's some way where we could, when we have an incident at school where the parents could know procedures, what happened, I can say, yes, we arrested this person at the school for making terroristic threats, and we transferred this person to juvenile court and turned it over to them. But after we turn it over to them, I have no say-so over what happens to these juveniles. That's what the juvenile courts are for, and I have no say-so over what the school does. That's what the school does. All I can tell them is, yes, we got information, interviewed this person, took statements, felt like there's enough there to make an arrest. We made an arrest, transported them to juvenile court, and I can't tell them, well, they were sent here, or they were sent there. I just can't release that information. I can't release information of what the school board or the school system is going to do to this person. That's
and there's
speaking to
different type
attorneys,
laws
there is.
with juveniles,
There is.
and the school systems in all of the area have to follow a different type of law.
And I
they're
can
under the
understand where a
educational
parent would get
laws.
frustrated. They want to know what's being done, and I'd like to give them that information. But again, I have to follow a law like anybody else, and that's just information I can't give out.
Right.
And on juveniles.
On juveniles. Whole different
Similar
story.
thing in Georgia, and I'm sure in Alabama as well.
I would think so, juveniles.
On that, there's just certain things they can tell. Of course, what happened. They just
Of course,
can't.
tomorrow's the
can't tell
National
name.
Walkout Day or thing. I think all the schools across the nation are going to more or less do a thing to recognize the shooting in Florida.
Oh, I thought it was on 420.
It might have been. I thought it was tomorrow, but
I'm really not sure. I know it's coming up. Some
Might have
schools
been
have.
420.
Some schools were going to allow it, and
I
I've
think
seen where
some of the schools in there
schools are
just
not
gonna let them
going
go to the gym and have a thing. But I was told yesterday it was going to be tomorrow in Marion County, so I don't know.
It may be.
And depending on when you're watching the program, of course, it may have already happened.
May already happen.
For that is concerned. Well, I hope you've been able to glean a lot of information off the show. We talk a lot about a lot of stuff, and maybe you've learned some things that about different states. All of y'all have to react somewhat different. Different types of laws, and whether it'll be the same crime, but you may code it different.
That's like things come to our attention. The bump stock.
Yeah.
Most people in law enforcement never heard of bump stocks till the incident in Las Vegas.
I never heard of it.
I've never had either. I mean, I've talked to officers. Most people
no
never
idea.
heard of it, but I don't see why that should be on the street. I have no. I just. I mean, I got personal. I if you're a law-abiding citizen, I think you all right own a gun. I don't really see a reason why a person needs a fully automatic weapon or something like that, or even a semi. But that's their right. But
absolutely. The one of the things with that, we didn't know about those, and the way I heard it explained is a lot like the spice type of that you get the little packets. That was against the law, and then they would change one ingredient,
right.
Yeah.
And it
Synthetic
it would be
marijuana.
out of it would be legal again until the
Exactly.
legislature met the next year. And I think these bump stocks were, they fell in that crack that there hadn't been a law to.
But what happens on
outlaw
some,
them.
when it comes to our attention, and by the time a law is passed, may take 2 years.
Right.
The legislators don't move.
They only
go
meet
out,
a lot of time once a year.
Well, they go out of
Yeah.
session here in the next month, and they won't be back till probably late September or October. And a lot of that legislation just don't get passed.
Well, a lot of good information. We appreciate y'all very much here on the program. Detective Thurman, Dade County Sheriff's Department, thank you. And of course, Sheriff, always pleasure to have you on the show with us from Marion County.
Good to be here.
We thank you, of course, at home, watching and being a part of the program each and every week. So we invite you until next week. Thanks for watching Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.